Today in the studio we have County Commission Chair Steve Keene. It's great to have you with us. How you doing?
Wayne, I'm doing great. Wide open. Had a great week.
It's been a busy week. Commissioners have really been busy this week. I wanted to ask you a few things this morning. First of all, the Board of Commissioners has heard presentations from most of the county departments this week. The remaining departments will be in to talk to you in April, I believe it is. If you would give us an idea a little bit more about what you heard this week and why these presentations are important for commissioners, and if you would tell us how it's going to help all of you during the budget process.
Wayne, what we've heard this week is, as you see in this large binder here with about 35 to 40 departments, we have heard about 2/3 of that, with the remainder coming our next meeting in April. We'll hear the last, I think, 6 or 7 departments. That is what we've done thus far. Why we are doing this? Twofold. One is to actually see the troops who are getting it done. We're seeing their leaders. We're getting to know them. They are getting to know us. And it's been quite a journey thus far, seeing their enthusiasm, seeing these leaders of these departments with their knowledge that they have, their experience, coming to us and really getting excited before us about their departments. So the why part is maybe to get our arms around them first and understand them and who they are and those staff members that work with them. The purpose, I guess, is to get our arms around what the Wayne County citizens have as far as assets, where their liabilities are. All that is done, we learn together, and all that they are going to do, we're learning together. So we're seeing just not the expense of what it takes to run a county government, but actually how it's sustained and who sustains it. So we're heavily involved with understanding that this week. We've been through it last week. We will wind it up here in the next 60 days. In fact, today I think we're winding up about the last small part of it is education. It's a big part of the budget, as you know, but it's a small part of just a part of a whole. Is putting the whole picture together, and we'll have that picture probably in about 3 or 4 weeks.
You know, Steve, the commissioners recently, over the last week or so, visited local places around the Wayne County area, places like Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, Mount Olive College.
2 great assets.
I'm telling you, amazing. I know the visits were enjoyed by all the commissioners. If you would, tell us a little about the importance of the tours and how they help to build relationships within the community.
Wow, what a great trip. Colonel Levitt just opened the doors out there at the base for us. Just the commissioners and the MAC chairman, Ben Seegers. I was not able to attend that. I was in Raleigh at the General Assembly that morning, but I understand that the commissioners had a wonderful, wonderful trip. I've been exposed to the Military Affairs Committee, being on that committee about 12, 15 years ago, and actually taking flights, and it's a wonderful relationship that we have with our base. The commissioners are now seeing that there's a possibility of a BRAC in 14, 15, and with that we felt like we needed to get right out there on the ground to find out basically what this is, get our feet on the ground, feel it, smell it, like getting into dirt, you know, and a farmer, he's just got to get out there and get his hands in it, and that's what we wanted to do with Seymour Johnson. And with that, understanding the economic impact that it has in Wayne County, and as you know, it's somewhere between $530, $560 million a year, and Commerce says it turns over about 4.2 times before it leaves the county as these airmen and staff and all come out the gate and spend their monies in restaurants and in the retail outlets, and that's about a $2 billion cash flow that if in any way that's affected, our commissioners must know that, because we're so tied into sales tax receipts and of course the properties that these airmen and all of those associated with Seymour, once they retire, they stay here possibly, and we try to house and find areas where they can live and retire and grow their children and grandchildren. So we're real excited about Seymour and understanding the importance of that. And then, of course, you know, our children are very important, but when they grow into getting further their education, you know, we have a great community college system at Wayne Community College. But we can't forget about Mount Olive College. And I call him Dr. Phil, but Dr. Kessler, I say the university, and he just smiles, you know. But he's excited. He's got a great vision of what he wants to do and his staff, and he expressed that to me one day about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and at lunch, and I decided, well, you know, I think it's a great thing if we just all get together and go out there and let him do the dog and pony show, and he did a wonderful job. He opened that up. He opened that tour up to Mount Olive College, and what a great dream Dr. Raper had years and years ago, and that's come to fruition. And we had a wonderful time in lunch, but we found out that in the southern part of Wayne County, that's just a huge asset as far as is Mount Olive College and what they're doing to incorporate their college in with the city of Mount Olive. And the infrastructure, Mount Olive has just gone through a comprehensive land use plan. They've done a transportation improvement plan. And all of that is tying into that 795 Interstate 40 connector that we're pushing so hard. So we've got a lot of people on the ground working for that, working for Mount Olive and Mount Olive College. And the commissioners just have to get down in there and see all 7 of us exactly what's going on in the southern part of Wayne County.
Steve, the board recently took part in the National Association of County Commissioners meeting in Washington. If you would give us some ideas or some of the items that were talked about and how these items will impact Wayne County.
Well, as you know, we have the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners that meet in Raleigh, and they're a legislative arm, they're a lobbying arm for us for all 100 counties. And after we get together here in Raleigh, then we move to the national level and meet with our House members and Senate members, meet with the legislators in Washington. We did that with George Holding, you know, with the new Congressional District 13. He has Wake all up to Nash and Edgecombe and Wilson County, and then comes down around Johnston County and comes down into Wayne County. All but Goldsboro, Mount Olive, and Dudley, and Congressman Butterfield has that. But we felt like that George Holding needed to know where Wayne County was in 3 different areas, and he met with us, and he gave us an hour of his time early Tuesday morning, and we're very appreciative of that at 8 o'clock. But we talked mainly about agriculture and how important, even though he's a judicial, his appointments on side of the judiciary area, he's connected well with the Secretary of Ag, and we talked to him about the importance of our 795-40 connector, our interstate connector, and finding funds for that, and also the BRAC and how important that was to us. So using that time in Washington to go see your legislators is important. We talked about the sequestration that's coming, and of course the 27th of this month we'll see probably a main part of what that will do. So getting us ready from the standpoint of understanding where the federal government is, how the House and how the Senate are separated somewhat, and how much monies are going to be available and or not available to the states of North Carolina, and of course understanding the association and where we are locally with the state. Then we understand where we will be with the county. And as monies are cut off from the federal government, then we understand where those monies are cut off, and then when we see it cut off on the state level, then we're able to understand who to network with up through the state into Washington. So if we have an issue with health services, healthcare services, you know, 32% of our total budget is healthcare, and it may look to be 34% before it's all over with health services, and that's health department, DSS, it's Watch, it's the hospital, it's everything as far as health care. Even well, your MCOs, or used to be the LMEs. So you've got your mental health. So there's, and of course, you know, in Raleigh, you've heard me at the commissioners meeting saying that, you know, we're in dire need of getting it right. The governor says that, you know, DSS is really broken. The Department of Health and Human Services is not DSS, but Department of Human Health Services is a big part of state health care. And Secretary Voss is certainly going to do a great job with Governor McCrory and working to fix the system. But we're going to be seeing that all in our county and how we move forward. So we've got to understand the networking and who has the money and who doesn't. It's all about following the dollar. It's caring for that client.
Well, I've got one more question for you there, Steve.
Just one more.
Just one more, that's all. This book, this big budget book, there's a lot of information in here. And this book is available for public viewing, is it not?
Oh, it is, and this is the budget, and this is what each county commissioner has to look at, and we have a cover letter, of course, by the county manager, who tells us straight up what the value of Wayne County is and how much the budget will be, and indicates, of course, you know, that we dropped from 76.4 down to 70.25 cents on the dollar. We have a budget this past year of $159 million. Our county is worth somewhere just over $7 billion. If you say we want to sell Wayne County, what would we sell it for? We'd sell it for about $7.2 billion.
But then we'd have to move.
Well, I would stay right here. I like it in Wayne County.
I do too.
But we do. I feel like we all, as commissioners, serve at. We know we serve at the pleasure of the people who have elected us. But we serve where Wayne County is best served. And right now, Wayne County is best served with the 7 commissioners that we have. We're very active. Wayne, as we talked about last time, is being very sensitive to and committed, but more so engaged. We're really engaged. And as you might have heard some say that, well, it's a part of maybe micromanaging, but we're not micromanaging. We are in a part, if you understanding that the commissioners came in November, and then we took office in December, and January, February, March, April, May, June, that's 6 months. So when all 7 commissioners take their seat at one time, the budgets already have spent. We're either at 40%, 50, or 60% out of all of these departments. So we've got to understand the new commission, the majority, not just the majority, but the whole commission has to understand that these monies, what we have left, and then before you start really getting your arms around what you have left, you've got to understand here in about another 30 to 90 days, you've got to decide how much you want to spend for the next year. So in order to find out what you've got to spend for the next corporate year, which starts July 1, with the state, with the General Assembly, and what the federal government's doing, you've got to get your arms around everything, and you've got to do it fast. Because if you're, no knowledge of it, is very, very difficult to make decisions for the people of the county if you don't understand those programs. And that's what we're doing at this time, is really getting our arms around the programs. And as I mentioned today, on the education, the facilities, we're to look at all of the bricks and mortar. Certainly not the curriculum. That's not my forte. That's above my pay grade. Teaching children is something. My wife was an educator, a retired educator, but I just washed cars, I just hired them. But we're excited about finding out what the facilities, the bricks and mortar, what the maintenance. We're excited about all of the infrastructure, and it's curb appeal. It's making those places to learn a clean and safe environment for those children. And two, when we have the Air Force, the airmen to come in and looking at quality of life for their children, the playgrounds, the places to shop, but yet where you teach those kids. And the great teachers, great curriculum, but we want them to be in a very safe environment, and inside, outside. I mean, we're excited to bring Wayne County and get people to come in and say, wow, you know, this county is moving up. This county is moving up, and we're excited to get that today and make it just a part of our facilities capital improvement plan for the whole county.
All right, we're out of time.
No.
I'm sorry. We are.
You said I had an hour.
But no, but you're on a tight schedule today, so I'm going to cut you loose, and I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Wayne.
County Commission Chair Steve King.